In this lesson, we're going to answer the question, how do I translate between verbal phrases and algebraic expressions? What we're going to do is we're going to look at, a bunch of different algebraic expressions and some keywords and phrases that we can use to describe them. So, for example, the first one, number 1, 5 minus y. You'd pretty much read that as 5 minus y, and you can see it's written here. But what are you actually doing here? You're doing subtraction, right? Minus means that you're subtracting. In this case, you're subtracting the y from the 5. So subtract y from 5. And 5 minus y is known as a difference because you're doing subtraction, and difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. So 5 minus y is a difference. When you subtract y from your 5, it's a difference. Look at number 2. 12 times a. I'm sure you would immediately recognize that you are multiplying here. 12 times a. You are multiplying 12 and a. And you could also say you're multiplying a and 12. That's the great thing about multiplication. The order doesn't matter. Our commutative property tells us that the order doesn't matter when we add or when we multiply. So 12 times a is the product of 12 and a. So product is the answer to a multiplication problem. So whenever you see multiplication, you're finding a product. Number 3, c divided by 3. Well, obviously c divided by 3. You are dividing c by the 3. And c divided by 3, that's a quotient. The answer to a division problem is a quotient. Next we have, this one only gives us the, the verbal phrase, b plus 2.3. So it would look like this, b plus 2.3. Or if you wanted, you could even do 2.3 plus b. It won't make a difference with addition. You can have it any order you want. So you are adding b and 2 3/10, b and 2.3. So you would say that b plus 2.3 is the sum is the answer to an addition problem, is the sum of b and 2.3. Look at the next one, d times 5/6. Well, you could write d and then a multiplication sign and 5/6, but I'm going to get fancy here. I'm just going to write 5/6 d. Remember, with multiplication, if you have a number and a variable, you don't even need to put the multiplication sign in between. You absolutely can, but you don't need to. You can put them right next to each other. And just something you want to keep in mind, if you do decide to put them right next to each other and skip the multiplication sign, make sure the number comes before the variable. We need 5/6 to be in front of d because 5/6 is the coefficient, and we always need the coefficient to be in front of our variable. And let's see, we are multiplying d and 5/6, and we would say 5/6 d is the product of 5/6 and d. Remember, if you decide to put the multiplication sign in, then your order really doesn't matter. The number doesn't have to come before the variable. Because it's multiplication, you can do it in any order. The order only matters if you're putting them right next to each other and you don't put the multiplication sign in. Number 6. All right, this time they are giving us the phrase down here, subtract 2/3 from e. Watch some of these words, some of these phrases, especially with subtraction. Subtraction is the hardest. You really have to watch your order with subtraction, and there's so many different ways to describe a subtraction problem. So if you're subtracting 2/3 from e, you are doing 2/3 minus e. It would look, oops, I apologize, I am incorrect here. You are subtracting e minus 2/3. So you have to subtract the 2/3 from the e. So e minus 2/3. Because you put it in this order, you're saying the 2/3 is coming from the e. It's being taken away from the e. So e has to come first so that you can take 2/3 from it. And that would be e minus 2/3 is a difference. Again, this is subtraction. Subtraction, we're looking for a difference. I'm going to have you try numbers 7 and 8 on your own. So for the takeaways today, all I'm giving you are some key words and phrases that you want to look for to determine whether you have addition, whether you have subtraction or multiplication or division in your expression. So for addition, some of the key words and phrases are sum, which you know is the answer, more than or greater than, increased by, you might see that one, and of course, plus. Subtraction, notice subtraction, the list is huge. It's much longer than addition and multiplication and division. There's so many different ways to express subtraction. But you also have to be very careful. Watch your order. I put that in capital letters for a reason. For subtraction, you can describe it by using the word difference, which you know means the answer to a subtraction problem. You could use less than or fewer than. You could do decreased by, or of course minus, and subtracted from. Multiplication, usually you just see product or times, but sometimes we use twice or tripled to say, oh, timesing by 2. If you do something twice, you're doing it 2 times. Or if you triple something, you're doing it 3 times. So to tripled something means 3 times. And of course, division, there's not too many ways to describe it, just quotient, which is the answer to a division problem, or divided by.